Hey, what's going on, guys? Richie Figs here, back with another video, and right away I just want to say thank you. The reception has been pretty phenomenal. You guys have been super cool about everything, and well, like I said, this is not something I'm just trying to blow up a channel or anything like that. More just coming to you, talking to you about some figures, and particularly so far just Jada. I do plan on talking about other lines. I know I've stated that. I haven't done that yet, but I will plan on doing that in the future. There just hasn't been a lot of big news on the Marvel Legend front or McFarlane front. I've heard some rumblings about McFarlane and leaks, just nothing concrete enough for me to make a full video on. So those will come in due time, but for now we got Jada toys, and you know, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me to stay full. But also, we are at 60 followers. If we could get to 100, that'd be pretty cool. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, I'm not losing any sleep over it. Yeah, Jada Toys, man, I'm shocked there hasn't been more coverage on this. They had a UK toy fair where they had a booth, and man, they dropped some bombs, and no one's reporting about it. But granted, wasn't a lot of coverage on this toy fair, but I was able to scoop up some imagery to kind of go over you guys with. I don't know if you'd necessarily call these leaks. I call them leaks because there's no coverage on them. There's no official announcements on anything. This was, if you happen to be out there, then great. If not, you're going to miss it. So let's take a look at the first one, see what we got. All right, taking a look at the first photo here. This is an actual photo of the UK Toy Fair booth. As you can see in the bottom left, we got M. Bison, and we're moving on to Ken, DHALSIM, DEEJAY, first appearance of DEEJAY that we've seen in a while. Not a lot of coverage on DEEJAY, and we'll actually cover that. That is Cammy in the far right. I am not going to cover a ton on Cammy just because I want to make her own separate video. There's enough coverage on her to give her her own video. And then we do have Wave 1 in the top left there. Moving on to Guile, moving on to VEGA. Then we end with SAGAT and BLANKA. And as you can see, looking like deluxe figures. Bigger boxes. Let's talk about it. Okay, taking a look at the first imagery here, we have VEGA. Now, sorry for the weird photos. Like, this is really, it's kind of hard to get imagery on everything, so I did the best I can with what I had to work with. So let's take a look at the right side first. He's got additional hands. He does have the mask by itself. Now, I don't know if you can actually put this over the maskless head sculpt. June was talking in an interview where it said it just wasn't sitting right. That's why they went with a separate head sculpt entirely where the mask is just on. I don't know if this is just a prop mask where you can just hold it, or it actually can attempt to put it over the face. I would think so, but you never know. Taking a look at the left photo, the ponytail, I believe, does have bendy wire in it. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I remember from hearing the conversation. Not sure what this extra claw piece is for. I don't know if it's for the open hands and you can attach that, or if it's just like, again, kind of like a prop piece. Maybe you can attach it to the other hands. I would think so, but I don't remember Vega having two claw hands like Wolverine. I think it's just the one hand, but yeah, that's cool. And then it's very subtle. If you look in the bottom right hand corner, it kind of fades into the background there with the coloring. It is a swipe effect for the claw hand. So, and then as you can obviously see, the additional head does have the perma mask on, but very, very cool. A lot of accessories. I think people are going to be excited about this one. All right, moving on to the second imagery here. You have the Vega picture, but I wanted to get this side-by-side picture. It was important to me to kind of show you the deluxe packaging and how it's a good, like, 1, maybe 2 inches taller, definitely wider than the Vega figure, and this Sagat. Whew, and don't think these are same price. With a deluxe figure, as expected, comes a deluxe price tag. Looking about probably 30 to 35. I don't think it's going to go to 40, but somewhere in that 30 to 35 range is what I'm expecting on these. At least that's what's been quoted so far. But as you can see, there are big boys coming. And this is just a straight-on shot of Sagat. It's kind of weird. You get a lot of imagery in the background. I get that the figure is big. I get that, but there's just a lot of empty space here. So I don't know if this is a prototype of what they have so far, or if there's going to be something else. It's just there's a lot of space in the background there, which makes it look odd, almost like it's lacking something. But it's just due to the figure being so big. So maybe that's where, I don't know, it just seems like something's missing there with all the empty space, but I get they had to go bigger on the packaging, so maybe that's just kind of what we have to deal with. He gets additional hands, as do all the figures. He gets an extra head sculpt. The gritting face seems to be popular. And then he gets kind of like a half fireball of what Ryu, whatever you prefer, and Ken. So this it looks good. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. It looks like it's lacking something. And Sagat's photo up close, just wanted to give you kind of a better shot of the face scans. Pretty traditional of the grit face that we get, kind of like that frown grit face, and then just the stoic face. Only thing throwing me off here is the skin color on the head doesn't necessarily match the body, but I'm not putting too much stock into that just because these are promotional photos. Obviously, they can fix that, and I'm sure they will, as this is not set to release. Probably late Q4, early Q4, along with VEGA. Here we got just a few promotional shots of DHALSIM. We've seen this before. If you've seen my other video with the DHALSIM and Bison, you've seen this imagery before. I don't think it had the background in the other photo, so it's cool. He's got kind of like that Indian elephant background there, but nothing we haven't seen before, so that looks pretty good there. Moving on to this next one, just some more in-depth shots of the DHALSIM, looking good. I love the head sculpt. I almost kind of like the stoic head sculpt more than I like the screaming one, but to each their own. I'm gonna have to see it up close to make that final verdict, but looking good there. And then this is just a little accessory pack of what you're going to be getting. You see the screaming head sculpt there. Almost looks like Freddy Krueger to me for some reason. And then he's got the open hand palms and then the bendy wire. Looking good there. Here's one that we have heard. I've literally heard nothing about DEEJAY, and even when June's talking about all the other figures, you mentioned that this is the first time DEEJAY's ever been made in figure form. You just never hear about him. No one asks about him. No, and June doesn't really cover him either. But I don't know that there's a lot of meat on the bone here as far as like a body sculpt. Kind of has. It's giving me vibes of like the Ryu Ken body. Obviously that chest and the arms look a little bit bigger, but I wouldn't be shocked if the bottom half was the sculpt from Ryu and Ken. But it's exciting. I mean, it's cool. I wasn't a figure. It wasn't a player that I used in the game a ton. So I just don't have a nostalgia feeling for DEEJAY. Half the time I forget he was even in that game. I always thought he came kind of in the later versions, but hey, looking good so far. And then I believe they do have this image here where it actually has another prototype of the figure, and this should be, I think the last time we saw a DEEJAY figure was at SDCC, and that was probably one of the first prototypes that they do. June mentions they do about 4 to 5 before they hit into tooling, so this is probably one of the later sculpts, but Wave 3, I think Wave 3, so probably should hit in June-ish, summertime. And last but not least, we finally get some imagery in package shots of BLANKA, at least in artistic form, of kind of seeing what we're going to be getting here. And I say best for last because I feel like there's a lot of, when you think of Street Fighter, obviously you think of Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, but I feel like everybody wanted to be that green monster dude that electrified people anytime you got near him, and you could just spam that move over and over to where basically no one could touch you. But yeah, I'm really excited for this figure, and I was a little unimpressed with the head sculpts on first initial look at them, but again, that was the absolute first prototype of the figures. I think June, listening in the interview that he talked about BLANKA, said he had gotten them just a few days before the actual event. I think it was SDCC that he ended up showing these off. I can't remember if it was New York or San Diego, but he did not even want to show the gritting head face because he thought it was so bad himself. So clearly he wasn't, set on the head sculpts. They're going to make a lot of tooling, a lot of adjustments leading up to this. This SAGAT and VEGA aren't set for late Q4. Maybe could even roll into 25 if things didn't go to plan, but this is the one I'm really looking forward to. I think the top 3, I'll go over those at the end on which my most anticipated are, but this has definitely got to be in there somewhere. But I think it's the head sculpts that kind of threw me off on my excitement a little bit, but again, early prototypes, got to get that in my head that these are not set in stone. There's a lot of work to be done. everything has looked great up so far to this point with the line. I just gotta have the faith. Keep the faith because it's looked great so far. And it looks even a lot better in this imagery, clearly. So let's take a look what he's got. He's obviously in the deluxe packaging, so he's going to be that $30, $35 price tag. I like the articulation from what I'm seeing. The head sculpt looks good. The gritting face looks good. He's got the extra set of hands, and then he does get a cool electrical effect that I believe you put around him. It doesn't actually attach to him. I believe it's just like an electrical effect that you can kind of surround him with and make it look like he's electrocuting up. So this is very cool. Again, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about the imagery from the UK Toy Fair. And, well, that's kind of what I wanted to go over. So, again, I don't know if these are leaks. That's just what I put because there wasn't a lot of broadcast on these and really just not a lot of imagery being floated out or covered on this. I don't know how much coverage on the UK Toy Fair. It looked fairly big, almost like a Comic-Con sized thing. I just don't know really anything about it. And, again, like I said, I'm not trying to be the first one, exclusive. This is, get your news here first. I'm just going as it's coming, baby. That's really all I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm excited about the line. I've been watching it like a hawk, clearly, on all the new things that are coming out, updates. We did get some updates. I believe it was from Paternia that quote tweeted or someone in affiliation with Paternia. If you don't know, that's a Twitter handle where you get a lot of toy news and updates about pre-orders and things like that. It did say that those player 2s, as far as the Chun-Li, the Fei Long, and the Evil Ken, are going to be Next Level. And for those that aren't familiar, that is Jada Toys' official website. It's called Next Level, and those player 2 deluxe editions are going to show up there. So should be fairly easy. I mean, they did a drop for Ryu at least like 3 times. I think they did a drop the day of SDCC. They did one after for those that missed out, and then they even did an encore drop after that. So you would have had to been super, super new to the line if you didn't get a chance at that at retail price for that Ryu. But it did sound like those are going to Next Level, and then it also sounds like there's a red Chun-Li coming from what I read. But I didn't see any imagery on that. They only had the pictures that we had covered before. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. It looks like Next Level. Those might and probably won't hit retail stores as far as like Target or anything like that. But yeah, that's the update. A lot to cover on this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like the video. We're at 60 followers now. It'd be cool to hit 100. I don't care if we do, but it'd be cool to get there just because we're so close already, 40 away. But hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did and you made it this far, you're a trooper. I appreciate it. Leave the like, and I'll see you on the next one. Richie Figs. Later.